Within this video, we will explain you the transformer page. So this is the overview transformer page where you can see all of the transformers that are within this environment. As you can see, this is a demo environment and some of these transformers have various names. One of the names that I would stand out and recommend you to use is clear names that make it understandable of what kind of information you're doing with this transformation. Same as with programming, we also recommend to keep like a single dependency saying, okay, one transformer does one specific step. And therefore, within your outgoing, incoming, or route, you can define multiple transformers to do each one step, and therefore you build up the kind of mapping or the transformations that you would like to have. This way, it's also more recognizable and also more manageable of seeing which steps are done by which transformers in that way. So in this page as well, we have the same as on the other pages. We can filter by the name, created at, updated at, and we can add other filters on the identifier, description, or status as well, including the pagination here on the top right. So let's go into creating a transformer. So this is the page where we would create a transformer. There are a few things that we see here on the page, but the main thing is actually at the start is the data here on the right side. The data here on the right side is where we can fill in the information that we want to pull through the transformer. However, if we would like to save the transformer, we first have to give it a name, and we call this, in this case, transformer for video. Let's call it that way. Of course, this is not the most perfect name that makes sense for this specific system. So we could also say, okay, we're going to map customer from system A to system B, for example. Then if we would like to save this right now, it is not possible yet. It will give a validation error, and that is because we need at least to fill in something here, and then we would be allowed to save it. In hindsight, we also recommend to always start with a chain, because a chain has the possibility of using more entity transformers as well, which is better explained within other videos too. Other things that we can have over here is then, as mentioned, the data that we want to pull through, for example, saying, okay, we want to place an SKU here. In most cases, we see that we copy the data here that comes from an entity data from a specific task. We also have the possibility of saving this information. So if we would refresh the page, we would also see that information coming back. Also, if you were to share this transformer with a colleague or with our support, for example, it is very easy to see for us, okay, what kind of data are you pulling through this transformer? Another thing you could do is that you could actually say, okay, we also want to make a second test. And we would save that as test 2, for example. So within here, you can see that we can have different scenarios for your transformation of seeing, okay, what happens with my specific data at that specific moment. You can make a test, for example, that is supposed to be filtered out, a test that's supposed to be not filtered out, and any kind of those kind of things. So then we also have the enlarge button, and the enlarge button is just to give a better overview of seeing like, okay, what happens when I do the run button, and I have like a better overview of seeing what kind of information you see. Of course, it's also possible to drag this line in between to have a kind of similar result in that as well. So what happens with the run test button exactly? So the run test button takes everything that's in the input. It uses all of the transformations here on the left side and then shows that in the result. Currently, there's no transformations shown, but let's say we introduce a simple new key, and we are going to write information 1, 2, 3 to it. We hit the run test button. We can see how that happens. Of course, we have various and numerous transformations possible, but those are explained within different videos. So I would recommend you to watch those if you would like to see more information about that.